Hello, 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 everyone. Nicole Roberts Jones here, the Bankroll Your Brains expert, and welcome to Bankroll Your Brains Thursdays, a time I connect with you every Thursday at 12 p.m. EST to walk you through one of three areas. Number one, what is your brilliance? The one thing God has created you to do in this world. The second is the value tied to it. And the third is how do you create multiple streams of income from it? It's my honor and privilege every week to either bring you guests that talk to you in one of those three areas, or for me to come in and share with you in one of those three. Usually it's in one of those three, but today I am pouring into you in continuing a four-part series that I started last week. And I'm really walking you through kind of all three of those areas as I'm continuing in this four-part series. And I decided to do this four-part series. I've been talking all day, y'all. So my words are blending together. And because there are four key areas I see so many people overlook, whether you're just starting your business or you've been in business for years, and you need all four of these areas. So I'm going to encourage you, if you missed last week's episode, you can go back and these episodes are on my YouTube channel. I don't have a link for this. So my YouTube channel is nrjnetwork.com. So you can go to Bankroll Your Brains Thursdays on my YouTube channel. You'll see the first part, leverage so you can grow. And so this second part so the first part was leverage your brilliance so you can grow. And I talked to you about your purpose, your niche, and what that is, and understanding how do you speak to a predictable result. And now we're going to talk about leveraging your visibility and what is it. And so as you're coming in, y'all know how I do. Those of you that are here week after week, as my grandmother would say, don't come in this house and not speak. Well, this is my virtual house for the next 30 minutes. So tell me your name, tell me where you're from. If you have questions as I pour into you live, please feel free to ask me questions. If I step on your toes, I want some fire emojis. If I say something that's good, give me some hearts. But I definitely want to hear from you as I'm sharing, because after all, I could be talking to myself. And sometimes I do. But I don't have to be live to talk to myself. So I want to hear from you as I'm pouring into you, okay? So before I go in, let me tell you some things I see entrepreneurs do when we talk about visibility. I see so many people, and I'm going all the way in, that are Facebook famous and broke. So I need you to understand, as I'm talking about visibility, Facebook likes or Instagram likes or people liking your profile on LinkedIn does not equate you having a profitable business. Hey, Dorothy and Holly Springs, Mississippi. Just because you have Facebook likes does not mean that translates into clients that are paying you to coach them or people that are buying products from you in your business. There's a difference between a like that becomes a client. And then even I see so many people that have what I call Millie Vanilli syndrome. Now, those of you that have been with me for a while, you've heard me say this before. Hi, Beverly in Ohio. And those of you that don't know who Millie Vanilli is, first of all, don't make me feel old. Go Google it. But let me explain to you who Millie Vanilli is. First of all, don't make me feel old. Please say, Nicole, I know who Millie Vanilli is if you know who they are, so I don't feel like I'm alone. I'm going to give you a second to say that while I drink a sip of water. So I don't feel like I'm alone. I see there's at least 15 of y'all that are here with me. Now, made me feel like I'm an old lady. Hey, Joyce in Charleston. Y'all know who Millie Vanilli is? Why are y'all being quiet today? Y'all are being shy? So for those of you that don't know who Millie Vanilli is, since y'all want to make me feel old today, Millie Vanilli was a singing group out in the 90s. They had this song out called Don't You Know It's True. They actually won a Grammy. I think it was 1991 Best New Artist. And as soon as they won their Grammy, I can't remember if it was their manager or their agent that then leaked to the press that they were lip syncing on their track. And the reason I say that so many entrepreneurs have Millie Vanilli syndrome is they copycat what they see other people doing. They say, oh, so and so is doing Instagram reels. Or they see, how many of you guys saw it was a whole trend of that pointing video that everybody was doing in Instagram. Ooh, I was so sick of people doing that pointing thing in Instagram month after month after month. I'm so glad people stopped doing that. I was like, let me tell you what I'm not going to do. That pointing thing on Instagram. You know why I didn't do it? Because everybody else was doing it. I see so many people that do what everybody else does. My allergies are acting up. Hold on. I see so many people that do what everybody else does. By the way, this is vitamin water. This is not Kool-Aid. I put vitamins in my water, right? So I call it Milli Vanilli syndrome because so many people are lip syncing on other people's track. Just because you see somebody else doing it doesn't mean it's in alignment with your brand. Doesn't mean you should be doing it. But so many people copycat, which means it leaves out your secret sauce. It leaves out how God created you. And if you go back to the conversation I had last week, if God put something so special in you, but you copy what other people do, it's not in alignment with who you be. And how do people see you for being the unique gift that you are if you're busy copying and lip syncing other people's tracks? Which is, again, going back to what I just said a few minutes ago. That's why people are Facebook famous and broke. Because you're doing stuff other people are doing. You're not letting your authentic self show. If you have been following me here for a while, a couple weeks ago, Christine St. Ville, who is a Facebook social media expert, was on as my guest. And one of the things she called me out on was she said, Nicole, you're so silly. How come you don't do more silly things in Facebook and show your personality? And so every now and then I do have a silly post, but that's who I am. So you've got to understand it's about showing your authentic self. It's not about copying what you see other people do. The other mistake I see so many entrepreneurs make is using industry language. So what do I mean by that? So if I come on and technically I'm a social worker, and most of you don't know that. The reason I don't choose to talk of social worker talk is because technically I'm not working in social work. The thing that makes me different in this arena is that I'm one part Hollywood producer, one part social worker, one part adjunct professor, and a whole lot of Jesus. All of those blend together to make me who I be. But if I start using industry language, I lose people in that sauce. One of the things that made Jesus so marvelous is he met people where they were. Now, I want you guys to get this. So oftentimes, Jesus, listen, 9 times out of 10, I'm not saying Jesus was never in church. I said that in one of these episodes and somebody tried to get me. Now, listen, I'm not saying Jesus was never in church, but most of his miracles were outside of the church because he was meeting people where they were. So when I get caught up in trying to use industry language, trying to sound all philosophical and all extra important, I lose people. Because if my client is here in the industry, then they don't need me. I'm not saying my clients aren't smart. I'm not saying that. But if they know what I know, then why do they need me? As I often say, corporate doesn't need more of corporate. Corporate needs outside of corporate, which means it's another skill set. Y'all with me? It's a differentiator that people need. You don't need more of the same. So that means if I'm using industry language and someone is outside of that industry that I'm teaching, they're not going to understand this language, which means they cannot hear what they need from me. So I need you to understand this. If you're going to leverage your visibility to grow your business, people need to see you as their answer. So when I'm relying on if I'm trying to get Facebook famous, people may not see me as their answer. They just might like my outfit and go, "Ooh, girl, I like your outfit." That doesn't mean that they see me as their answer. If I'm lip syncing on somebody else's track, first of all, One of my favorite people said this, and I loved it when I heard him say this. If both of us are the same, one of us isn't necessary. Woo! So if I'm copying somebody else, that means that the copy isn't necessary. If someone doesn't understand the language that I'm speaking, then they cannot see me as necessary. Matter of fact, I remember when I was a consultant and I got brought into a school because so many of the students in that school were not doing well. Excuse me. The school hired me to develop programming because the test scores were horrible in that school. And I sat in on what the school was calling a student success team. And the psychiatrist of that student success team, white psychiatrist, the school was Black and Latino. That white psychiatrist used every big word he had learned in his psychiatry, getting his degree. And here I am as a social worker sitting in there, but my expertise was program development. And the Black mother with her Black child sitting in there with me, my Black self, with the white psychiatrist. And I kept stopping him to explain what he meant. Because I know we as Black people won't ask. Culturally, we won't. So I kept explaining it, and he was getting mad at me. And I said, let me say something to you, Mr. Use every industry language you know. Did you stop long enough to make sure that parent understood? Because your whole purpose in being in that room was for her to understand you, not for me to understand you. He had the nerve to try to complain to our Black principal about me. And the Black principal said she was right, talking about me. But I need you to get this. The whole purpose of him being in that room was for that parent, and he couldn't see that the way he was articulating the needs of that child, the parent couldn't understand it. And the reason those kids were doing horrible in that school is because the one counselor in that school couldn't speak and meet those kids where they were. And that's why I got hired. And pretty much he got fired. And I'm bringing that to your attention because if you're going to be the answer to the group of people that need you, you've got to be able to do three things. Number one, you've got to allow people to see the value that you bring. I often call this dating. Now, if you've been around me, I say this all the time. If my husband brought my ring to our first date, I would have thought the brother was crazy. But how many of us build a website and we think, oh, people are going to come because my website is beautiful? I have a beautiful website and people are going to buy stuff from me. Nobody cares about your beautiful website. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if your pictures are pretty, if you have all this buzz industry language, the best marketing lingo. Nobody cares about any of that. This is stuff nobody tells you, y'all. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to speak to a predictable result. And if people can't hear the predictable results, what do I mean by predictable result? I need to know at the end of my time of working with you, this is what I'm going to get. It's like when I buy a plane ticket to go to LA, I need to know I'm going to get to LA by what time. Period. I don't need all this extra fluff in the middle. I don't care about how many seats are on the plane. I don't care. Listen, I never even asked, how long has a pilot had his or her license? That's all that fluff you say in the middle. That's all the things that we're so worried about. Most people that come to me when they hire me, they're like, well, I need to get my website done first. No, you don't. No, you don't. We need to get you in alignment and allow people to see the value that you bring first. Because even as I'm dating my husband, I'm looking at what is the value that he brings to our relationship, just like he's looking at the value that I bring. He's thinking, who am I? Can he trust me? Is my conversation good? Am I who I say I am? And he's looking past what I look like on the outside because this stuff, listen, I'm one car accident away from all of this being gone. Am I good past this cuteness on the outside? Come on, somebody. Because this is all fluff. It could be gone tomorrow. Who am I past all of this? When my lashes are gone, when all his makeup is all gone, when his hair is looking like a hot mess. Who am I past all of this? Who am I in the morning when my teeth aren't brushed? Come on, somebody. That's what your clients are looking for with you. How do you leverage that? The second thing you got to do is stand when you how you stand out in a crowded market is, I'll call it the Oprah effect. The one thing that Oprah did was she allowed us to really see her. And it's really using the power of your story. This is one of the things that I'm doing currently in my free Rich in Your Niche Summit. So I'm going to invite you into that, and then I'm going to come back and wrap up this conversation. It's a much needed conversation because, and I'm going to get all this cough out while y'all watch this quick commercial because my allergies are acting crazy today. But I'm inviting you into this because I want you to see how 18 other people are allowing themselves to be seen in a crowded marketplace and how it allows them to differentiate themselves and to see of other people that do what they do. So take a look at this, and I'll be back to wrap up this conversation and talk to you about why visibility is important. So it started on Monday, but it's not too late to join us. Number one, the replays are up until Sunday. So you can go back and watch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then tonight is day 4. And listen, tonight and tomorrow, and then you can again have the weekend to catch up. So in addition to listening to both the fireside chats and the master classes, that each day I have 4, 2 master classes and 2 fireside chats. The reason I wanted to have this summit is because I wanted you to see living, breathing examples of what it looks like to fail. Because some of them are talking about opportunities that they failed and the lessons they learned when they failed. They share opportunities that they learned, the value that they brought, which is what I'm talking to you about today. They share opportunities and the ways that they learned to show the value that they brought to their marketplace in a different way. Listen, many of them know that they do things that other people do. I love that on day 2, Renata, and go and listen to her whole interview, talked about the fact that there are 4 nail salons in her neighborhood. All of them bring value in a different way, and all of them are still crowded. So you've got to listen to these episodes. They're showing how all of them are bringing value to their marketplace in a different way. Again, richinyournichesummit.com is where you go and register. It started on Monday. But again, the episodes will be up until Sunday for you to listen. And again, the reason I do summits like this once a year is because, yes, it's great for you to listen to me once a week. Yes, it's great when I have experts and then I come to pour into you. But here's what I know for sure is sometimes you need to hear others in the journey of what it took for them to be successful. And so in this 4-part series, I'm going to peel back more and more next week. Listen, next week, I'm going to talk to you about your own riches. But you need all 4 of these steps that I'm going to walk you through. All right. So let's continue to talk about leveraging your visibility and the Oprah effect. All right. So number 1, you've got to literally show your value. You've got to show your value. Number 2, you've got to date your client. It's one thing for you to show your value, but you've got to allow them to experience you over time. It's not a one time and then they automatically put a ring on it. Most people will want to date you over time. I asked most of my clients how long they watched me before they enrolled to work with me. Some people will say they watched me one time on a experience like this, and usually it's because they got referred. Most of my clients will say they watched me 2 to 4 years before they enrolled with me. And that's normal, especially in these social media streets, because so many people are now not who they say they are. And so most people are skeptical. And so by you allowing people to experience you more and more, they get to see if you're genuine or not. And so it's so important. And that's why the Oprah effect is important. And so the thing that I absolutely love about Oprah, first of all, don't you feel like you know Oprah? You know, didn't I just say I was gonna work on my my cough? I didn't take my allergy medicine in full disclosure, so I'm gonna take it, but it'll be too late after I'm off. But anyway, but so I'm coughing. So when I don't have, as my mother would say, the COVID, I don't have the COVID. It's my allergies acting up. Anyway, so I feel like I know Auntie Oprah. You know why? Because she allowed us into the imperfection of her perfect world. She felt like she had nothing to hide, nothing to prove, nothing to protect or defend. You could be perfectly imperfect. And when you allow people to see all of who you be, it allows people to really trust you. And it's really that know, like, and trust factor that allows people to feel comfortable with you. And that makes all the difference. Many of you, there are several of you here on Black Doctor that I get to be with you every Thursday. And some of you become clients because you get to experience me once a week. And you get to see the funny Nicole, the Jesus Nicole, the coughing through my allergies Nicole. And you get to really see that this is really who I be, that I don't shift. You get to hear my husband singing in the background sometimes because his office is right next to mine. It's like really right now. And so when you allow yourself to be perfectly imperfect, it makes a difference. And the biggest way you can do that is by sharing your story. And so that is why last week I shared my story. Again, if you missed that episode, go listen to it or go watch it on my YouTube channel. And I didn't make a banner here on my YouTube channel. Right? Let me make it really quickly. It's NRJ Network. NRJ Network. And you'll see when you go on my YouTube channel, you'll see it there under Bankroll Your Brilliance Thursdays. Okay. So you can see the first episode there. But the reason I'm sharing that with you is Oprah perfected this, perfected it so much so that we feel like we know Oprah. And so it's an art to doing this where you share your story just enough that people can see you. And it's really allowing them to see themselves in you that makes the difference in your business. So it's showing the value that you bring. It's showing how you're their answer. It's allowing them to see your imperfections and allowing people to see themselves in your journey. That is the visibility. That's how you use social media to show value. That's how you use being on any kind of platform, whether it's a podcast, whether it's on a blog, wherever it is, on a stage as a speaker. That's how you leverage visibility the right way. And it's always leading to a predictable result. I want you to notice no matter where you see me, I'm always talking about multiple streams of revenue or how you use your purpose as a very way that God created you to profit in this world. There's only two conversations I have because that is the way that I was wired, the same way that there's a specific way that you were wired. And it's really about you learning how to leverage it to be the answer you were born to be in this world and learning every way to allow people to see you and see the predictable result that it helps them get to. So that's how you leverage your visibility instead of just trying to be seen. It's not about being seen. It's about allowing people to understand how you are their answer. It's not about you. And I see so many people use their platform to be seen and not to serve. Woo, drives me crazy when I see that because it's not about you. So we'll continue our conversation next week because I can go on and on about that. And it's going to have me go into the next step. Next week, we'll talk about leveraging your profit, How do you leverage your profit? How do you leverage your profit into 6 streams of revenue? Oh, that's game changer for your business. So make sure you join me next week as we go into part 3. And then part 4 is what's going to help you be able to do all of the 3 that I would have already discussed. All right. So with that said, it's always my honor and my privilege to be here to pour into you. I also want to encourage you to follow me on Instagram, where I give you strategy all week long. If you're not following me on Instagram, I'm at N Roberts Jones on Instagram. If I've given you any value, hey Deb in Florida and Chris Ann in Philly. If I've given you any value, please, by all means, tell me the most valuable thing you got out of this episode. If you know, like you know, and you don't know how to use marketing, you don't know how to use visibility, I want you to know that usually if you don't know how to use, if you're not leveraging your purpose, your niche, then you won't be able to use visibility. If you're not leveraging your visibility, you won't be able to leverage your profitability. All of them lead to the next. That's real, y'all. So, with that said, tell me the biggest value you got out of our conversation today. And then I want to encourage you to make sure you come next week as we continue our conversation. Again, each one are pillars. There are 4 pillars. It's almost like tires that sit on the vehicle that is your business. And if you're missing a tire, you out of alignment. You need all 4 so that your business rolls, right? Can't roll without all 4. I know I can be corny sometimes. So with that said, y'all, have a phenomenal rest of your week. I'll see you next Thursday, 12 p.m. EST, for part 3 of Leverage to Grow. Have a good one.